What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. I'm Dylan. Actually, they just got punched in the mouth. They didn't even know how to react.
That is one Derby Diamond.
I'm Mila. Do we want to do a little pre-rookie? That was the last time they showed initiative to go get a fucking player.
They're still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero.
I'm Grant. They're talking a lot about you, 15. How will you respond, 15?
We downgraded from Peppa. Do you know how absurd that is?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. I'm Dylan, alongside Mila and Grant, as always. The Premier League is officially back, but before we get into that, self-promo, looking to get to 100 subscribers, follow us here, turn on notification bells, like the shit, all that fun stuff, and also follow us on socials. My voice is a little hoarse today, so bear with me. But in today's episode, we will talk about Matchweek 1 since the Premier League is officially back, as United lost to Arsenal but looked promising. City steamrolled Wolves. And in between there, we'll talk about Chelsea drawing 0-0 with Palace. All before previewing the match against Spurs for City. And I'm not going to let them talk, so I'm just going to jump straight into my 5 things that I learned watching Manchester United play Arsenal in Matchweek 1. The new signings were fantastic. I thought that Mbeumo and Cunha both showed exactly the floor level ability that they can raise, and they were really good. Mbeumo tired towards the end. I thought Cunha definitely looked like he's been in the plans and has been in the side longer with Amorim. And I even thought Sesko in his 30-minute cameo was actually really good and had more involvement than Højlund did all of last season in 30 minutes. So that's good to know. 2, the goalkeeping crisis continues. Binder's awful. Look, they had 2 shots, and one of them, I don't even know how to explain it anymore. Like, whether it was a foul or not, he thinks he got fouled. Like, he's got to be doing better there. Set pieces have been costing United for way too long, so that sucks. 3, I have depth. I thought that Mount was good in the match. We also saw United bring Ahmed off the bench, and like Dalot played. Like, there's going to be minutes to go around, and so if things aren't clicking, even guys like Xerxes and Manu didn't get minutes today, which isn't it's not the worst thing to me. So United have some depth now, which last season they didn't. 4, Amorim's system starting to actually play out. There's a directness and a style of play that you can actually see, and he's starting to mold the team. Whether that's good or bad, we will find out, but there's something going on there. And then 5, reason to be positive, and we can just jump kind of straight into the recap of the game, because there's actually reasons to be positive about this United result, even though it was a loss, and that sucks. And I hate losing, even when it's a good moral loss. And United are going to have those this season. So I'm done speaking. One of you guys take it away.
Keep going.
I got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, I thought I was shocked for one. Usually with Arsenal on the other end of this, where they're the better performing team that can't put away their chances, they lose 1-0. They were on the complete other end. I watched this whole game with Facundo, which was very enjoyable for me. He was screaming the entire game at the screen. He was very frustrated with the performance, which I understand. I thought they were really bad, but again, this is what we talked about with Arsenal's floor. They're so good defensively, and they could just shut a team out. But I do think United were really positive. They exploited the weaknesses in Arsenal. And again, to be fair, there aren't very many, but every time they won the ball, that Mbeumo out ball was there every time, because both fullbacks were getting forward. Zubamendi was dropping in between the center backs to build. And as soon as they lost the ball, that out ball was on. And you saw Cunha driving through players, especially when C.O.C came on. He was able to drop back, and you really saw what he can do in between the lines. But I thought there was a lot to be positive about with Man United. They looked much better than I thought they would. I think the team overall, just looking at it, I think most of these guys performed really well. I think a big adjustment that Amorim made that is starting to pay off is that sort of 4-4-2 shape when they press. It just gives them a lot more fluidity, and they were just having issues with that extra man kind of in between the lines and build up. So that kind of mitigates that to an extent. And then again, that natural back four, most of Dalot, Yoro, De Ligt, Shaw. So there's a lot to work with. You're starting to see a lot more of the foundations. He had a preseason to implement some things, and you are seeing something different. as much as I love making fun of Arsenal, I do think it's a bit harsh to pick out any particular players only because it was just a horrible team performance. The team as a whole was very bad, and I think you could point out a bunch of different players. So I'm sure I'll give Mila the stage. I feel like that's a good transition. He might have a few players to pick out, but I think all things considered, it was just a bad team performance. They got the 1-0. Go put 5 pass leads and then prepare for Anfield. That's really where their head should be at. Take the 3 points, move. But what did you see, Mila?
I'll start with Arsenal, I guess. I said it after or during the transfer window. I'm not moved. I'm not scared. It's the same team to me. Nothing's changed. And I think you can go back to how highly I rate Raya in our top 5 goalies, and
He
what
was
I was saying last
fantastic.
season too, where without Raya, they're probably not even title contenders or in the conversation of title contenders, because he's just that good. He keeps them in the game. United play that game against any other team in the league, they win that game. Is what I think. They had the chances, and Raya made some great saves to keep them in the game. And this is a United team that is just like I think individually they all played great.
They
In
look
terms
good, yeah.
outside of like Ugarte maybe. uh,
He brought the
Uh,
level all the way back down.
Awful cameo.
That was
but
shocking.
in terms of the team play, I think there's a lot of room for growth there. I think there were times where Mbuemo and Cunha would make great moves to get the ball into the final third, make a move in the final third, and then it would be more so like, oh, this is my debut for Manchester United. Let me go get this goal, rather than just kind of finding an easier pass to the next guy. That will come though. I'm not worried about that, and that's their competitors also. They both want that goal. So that'll come with it. Like once they adapt to each other.
They'll settle.
Yeah, exactly. I think you covered a lot of what they're doing really well right now, but in terms of just the players themselves, I think there was a lot to be happy about for United, and a lot to be concerned about with Arsenal. In terms of Arsenal, like what I think they have a lot of issues identifying where they want to play their players, and that's a squad issue all around. Outside of Gyökeres, who's the striker, he's not going to be playing anywhere outside of the striker. Everyone else is, and Saka, who has his spot on lock. Everyone else is very confused about where they play, I think. Center backs also can be pushed away, but many of their players, like, is Odegaard a 10? In my eyes, no. The guy can't create to save his life, and he was awful last game. So it's like, he's not a 10 in my eyes, and then he's supposed to be this 8, but you just got Zubamendi, and you played him with Rice. So are you playing 2 6s?
I like the
8?
Zubamendi Rice pairing when
do too.
the left back. I think Calafiori, like he was unavailable for so much of last year, and Lewis Kelly was so good. That's Calafiori's job to lose in my eyes. If he stays fit, I just think he adds more given his experience. So I think again, Lewis Kelly's a very good player. There's minutes for him in the midfield or at left back. But Calafiori showed a lot to me in that game, in possession especially. But again, he more so held width, and then the wingers were inside. And Odegaard, I don't want to be as harsh on him because there were a lot of moments in transition where he picked up the ball, drove it forward, and then Facundo pointed out to me, so I'll mention it for him. But the runs off the ball were very bad for a lot of the time. Odegaard was the only player out of anybody to really like take initiative and try something, kind of how we describe Bruno. But again, that's relative to how bad the team was, because I don't think he had a particularly good game for his standards. But he was one of their better players on the day.
I'm going to push back on that.
I don't agree.
I don't think Odegaard knows how to play in transition, and that's the issue. Is like Gyökeres
Sure.
is that's his bread and butter, and there was chances for that to happen, and every single time that happened, the ball was
Gyökeres was clunky.
He was clunky.
And he was very bad too. I don't think Odegaard was that good, but I just think given how bad they were, like, he took it upon himself to at least go for it. But a lot of the times, even if the runs were good off the ball, he still was misplacing the passes, to be fair.
It wasn't even like barely misplaced. These were
it was bad
misplaced passes.
But he was the only one doing something. That's how bad they were.
Sure, if you want to say that, but if you can say that when like, the ball almost went off and it came off to the player, just maybe the defender got to it and with great physical prowess, whatever. These were terrible passes. These looked like he was forcing something that he's not capable of doing.
They look
And
confused.
that's
I
the
would
issue.
agree
And
in
I,
terms of
I
how they want to
understand it.
attack.
I understand the sympathy in that sense, but I have no sympathy for them because they went and picked up Madueke as a winger this year. When you know you need a fucking creative
That
just
miss he had at the end
output,
was pretty bad.
yeah, who
Right
cares? He
from
was the
the
wrong
goal.
guy to pick up. I'm not even worried about him in their squad whatsoever. Like that left wing
Yeah.
position is ripe for the taking for anyone. They should be going for Rodrigo now. I don't
I
think they
think
will, and then they're going
it's
to keep
criminal that they're
complaining.
not after Eze. It's criminal that he is not already an Arsenal player because for me, Odegaard is now becoming the odd man out. To your point, Grant, like I think Rice and Zubimendi is actually a really good too. But you've got this guy who we can't figure out what exactly he does well for them anymore. Like it used to be give him the ball and then he could like kind of set some tempo for them. But now you've got Zubimendi doing that exact same role. And every time, like Mila is saying, like you need a killer pass. You need an Eze or like a Bruno style player. He's playing it too far out wide, and Gyökeres is now in a channel trying to cross a ball from like the byline. That's how many times the ball was just like on the byline. I'm like, what are we doing here? If I was an
Yeah, I
Arsenal,
don't think he was great. Like just off the top of my head, I'd say 80% of the time, 90% of the time, it didn't come off. But again, I just thought they were that poor that, oh, at least he's picking up the ball and driving it
Hmm.
forward. That's how
yeah,
low the standard was in that game in
that's
particular.
fair.
But I mean,
They're
Gyökeres, to be fair, he loves running the channels. That's what he does. And that was a very like bad performance. It's really easy to make fun of. And I'm still not very high on the player, but to me, it just looks like his legs aren't there yet. He couldn't really press.
yeah.
And I think in the second half, Arsenal just really didn't press at all. They had no problem. Okay, United are giving us a lot of problems in transition. We're just going to sit in this sort of mid-low block, stay compact. You're not playing through us anymore. You got to go around and put balls in the box. And they were totally fine with that whole second half, just really content doing that. But yeah, there's definitely some red flags, and I think there's time to address it. But
Yeah, they're gonna
I
have to
lean
get.
more towards you guys. I just want to play a
They're
little bit devil's advocate at least.
no, no,
That's
For
no.
fine.
I'm
conversation's
in
sake.
agreement.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
think they looked as bad as they did because they have no idea how to play with Gyökeres, and the fact that they waited as long as they did
They
in the
looked better when
window
Havertz
to
came
get
on.
him. Yeah, well, that's
Mm.
because that's what they've been playing for 4 years, right? Is this like false nine extra attacker, which is why Facundo was scared about the idea of Gyökeres. But when you get a player like Gyökeres, he breaks the system, and it's on Arteta to figure out
To
how to fit
rework
him
it
into
for
their
him, yeah.
system. And
Mhm.
honestly, like we've been talking about, like this is the player that they've needed. There was a ceiling with the false nine thing because they weren't, and it's going to
Took him
come back
away.
to if they can
It's Kai
actually score
Havertz. Yeah.
open goals, open play goals, because they are a team that dominates at set pieces. So if they can
There's a
click
new
together
routine.
open play, if they can click together open play, man, they're going to be a scary side. And for them, like going to Old Trafford's a tough team, and it's a tough place to play. Like they got 3 points, and for them, that's what's most important here because
Yep.
they'll probably end up figuring it out. Arteta is a good enough manager. I think they will. And last year, I think they probably dropped points in that match. Like if United are a little better, they probably pick up points here. But Arsenal, like to your point, Saliba and Gabriel and Raya picked up the slack, and they ended up getting all three, which is important. Can't
I mean,
lose the
we're not.
season here, but
Yeah.
or
No,
sorry,
but
can't win the season here, but you can lose it.
it's definitely telling, I think. And like we know their defense is good. We're not worried about their defense. We have Raya, they have two solid center backs, and they have capable fullbacks.
Both
The issue
spots,
has been the goal scoring. And what like cool, they can be a Champions League achieving team. They can go to the Champions League 4 years, 5 years in a row if they want to. But if they want to win, they have to figure that out. And I don't think they addressed the other 50% of what comes in having a good striker, and that's getting the fucking ball to the striker. They don't really have that in the team right now, and they didn't pick up anyone to add to that.
And Martinelli did not look good, man. Like
Look
he
at what
was
we
so
had with
bright a
like
few
you can
years
have the
ago.
best, yeah.
It's you got to
You
move
can have
on.
the
Like you
best
even
striker
see
in the world. If you don't get
look
on the
at
ball,
look
it
at a
doesn't
team
matter.
like Chelsea, who again just scraped into top four. They're not competing, title charges, all that. A guy like Madueke, I would have had no problem keeping him. They were ruthless with a lot of players. Jackson, right now, we extended his contract last year. Now we're trying to get rid of him. Maybe that's a different conversation that we've had a few times. But my point is the fact that Martinelli's still there for them trying to achieve what they're going to achieve. He can be there, but there should have been someone to kind of elevate the level to push him and eventually take his spot. But just kind of sitting content in a few spots can hurt them. But They've got less than 2 weeks to rectify that and at least bring one more guy in over the line, but I don't know how likely that is.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on United and Arsenal too much here, so I'll kind of end it with United since that's my team, and I talked a lot about Arsenal
Sure.
here. This was a different circumstance and component than what last year brought, and I'm not worried about United getting up for these games. They proved last year that they could get up for these games, but United at no point last season dominated a match against a Big Six side. This was a different type of getting up for it. This was like
Yeah.
to Mila's point, like you play this match against any other team, you're winning this game. And so it was important to kind of see that. And I think the players that are meant for the system look like they're meant to be there. Like Ahmed as the right wing back looked really good, and we actually started to dominate and control possession when he came on. I still think obviously the United, can they fill a couple extra holes here would surely help them get to I think the expectation being higher, but I think the floor is already raised so much.
Thought Dorgu looked really good.
Yeah, he's
Looked
fantastic.
excellent.
He's fantastic. The only reason that I didn't put like specific players in my 5 things that we learned is because I've been kind of
Team
harping
was
on it all
good.
preseason.
And the team as a whole was just very solid.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just about getting. I think once Sesko gets integrated and comfortable this season,
familiarity. Yeah.
that's where
'Cause I
United
think
can really take a leap.
Ahmad did look very good. You know how I feel about Ahmad, but one thing that kind of came to mind with him and Mbumo there was it felt like less of interchange and more of they got in each other's way a little bit. And that was
Yeah.
their first game playing together, first competitive game. So again,
Yeah.
that's understandable. It's all about just working those kinks out. But again, you can't afford to drop too many points and have negative results in that span. But they'll get more
No.
comfortable with each other the more they play.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had United coming out here and really
No.
like, I think most betting predictions would have had Arsenal winning this match. And so,
Yeah.
like, to
I
a certain
had
extent,
you winning the
you had
match.
United winning. So to a certain extent, there's like you were playing with house money, and so it'll be interesting to see if United can get up like that again against Fulham. Because if they
Right.
get up like that against Fulham, it could be like a pretty good win. You know, like a 2-1. I don't think we're gonna defend as well as we did in this one, but yeah, interesting times in United land. It's going to be something new every single week, probably. I just assume, but we'll see what signings they make and all the fun stuff that comes in. But let's segue into Le Chelsea. Grant, your 5
Ooh.
things.
Yeah, that was a tough watch opening day. But my honorable mention before we start is I think Crystal Palace are going to be tough for everybody. They're going to be a really tough team to beat. We all put them 12th and didn't really talk about it, but Glasner's been there a little while now. It's his second full season he's going into. They know what they're doing. They'll probably lose one or both of Gehi and Eze, but Wharton's still going to be in the middle. They'll still have Mateta up top. They're going to be a handful. So tough point. But my first point was we miss Levi Colwill a lot. Progression from the back 3 in general wasn't great. I think a Chempong, I'll save that because he's part of my second point. But I thought on the left, Chalaba cut off a lot of passing lanes because, again, naturally he's a right footer. So it limits what we can do in our build-up. Had a bit of an impact on Gitten's performance and the overall kind of flow on that left-hand side. But Hato might be a solution at left center back, again, just given the circumstances and the big hole that we're missing in the middle with Colwell. There's going to be a few solutions. So I'm not too sure what we're going to do there, but that's definitely something I'm keeping my eye on. The second point I had was a Chempong can definitely be relied upon this year for minutes. I don't think that's going to be every week. It's not always going to be in that central role. I think he's probably better off on the right of a back 3 where he's able to progress the ball, carry it forward. But I think in that game alone, having to deal with Mateta for 90 minutes, 1v1, getting held up. He won 11 duels. Mateta lost 10. I think he held his own. And then on the eye, sometimes it looked like Mateta's size was giving him problems. But I think, again, all things considered, I think he was fantastic. And we can rely on him for center back minutes this year. My third point, I think Estevao is going to get a chance very soon to start. He's going to be able to impact the game. I mean, we saw it as soon as he came on. just the attention that he draws. I think that just creates so much space. I mean, especially when you're playing a team like Palace and that deep block, you're at home, you're just trying to get through. You have to drag defenders. You have to pull them out of spaces and open it up for guys like Cole Palmer to attack, João Pedro, Liam Delap. I think Estevao did that really well. He showed his character as soon as he was able to get on the ball. I think he probably starts next game. So, again, another thing I've got my eye on. My fourth thing I noticed is, as much as we've spent on it and as much as I've praised it, the midfield is not perfect. Guys are going to have days off. I think Enzo, I texted you guys, I thought he looked drunk. On the ball, typically elegant, not so much the case today in between the lines. Again, that can go back to our progression from the back, not being able to find the Enzos, Cucureas, Palmer through the middle. But even when he did receive the ball in space, he did not look sharp on it whatsoever. Santos got his shot at the end as well. But again, I think there's minutes for everybody in the middle this year. I think we're going to have a lot of rotation. Each game is going to present a new challenge. So I think there's going to be opportunity for all these guys. And then the last thing, going back on last episode, I was totally wrong about the fitness. I was talking, it was 2 preseason games. And I said before preseason that I don't take much stock into preseason. I watched 2 very nice performances from my team, and I took a lot of stock into said preseason. I thought we'd kind of hit the ground running intensity-wise, and to be fair, we kept it up for 90 minutes, so you could argue our intensity was there, but to me, it just didn't look like it was fully connected. I don't think you can replicate the intensity of Matchweek 1, so it's not there yet, and again, it's unprecedented territory in terms of the preseason and the workload, this and that. We just need to adjust, and we need to be ready. Be able to compete. So bring West Ham on Friday, please. Need that to be tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start with Palace, because to your point, like, we had them all in 12th, and that's just because they're Crystal Palace.
Banter.
This is a good Premier League side. I have concerns over, like, when Eze leaves, like, what's going to happen. I would absolutely fucking adore if United pivoted to Wharton. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he was great.
What a player. I mean, it's just with limited touches. I think I saw he had 20 passes and 8 of them were into the final third.
Or even, like, I'm sure half of those that weren't into the final third were just switching the play, and there's tons of space on the opposite side. He was very good.
Just really, they're a quality side, and I think the issue with the preseason stock was just you guys didn't play any competition. The 2 games that where
the 2 very big clubs don't.
The very big clubs, but just
Leverkusen,
not at the races in terms of, like, in comparison.
Definitely
the
not.
Palace side is
Definitely
just
not.
like kicking on, just high form teams. Kind of a nothingness game. I mean, it was just in terms of, like, Palace was being Palace, and Chelsea were I think you just said it, kind of slow and sluggish.
Yeah, I'm not a doomer with this game. I would have loved to start the season with 3 points, but this result is by no means the end of the world. It's frustrating. You want to win, obviously, but not the end of the world.
It's not the start to the season you want, but I don't think there's a lot to take away from this game just based on Palace, like you said. Good
0-0 against Palace versus standard.
Yeah.
This is it very easily could have been, like, on another day, Palace walk away with points based off their recent form.
Yeah, I mean, they had that disallowed free kick. I mean, when that went in, I was just dead silent. I was like, yeah, that was nice, but
ripped that.
Yeah, unlucky. Broke the rules, boys.
I was gonna say I didn't want to talk about it because it was such a weird technicality that came across that, like, I just.
And I'm sure, we've probably
was against me,
broken that
like,
rule and gotten. Oh, I'd be furious. I'd be furious.
Yeah,
but I mean, Caicedo's gotten 2 bangers stolen from him against Spurs 2 straight years. So, like, it is part of the game. Like, these things happen and they suck, especially when it's against your team.
Out.
Yeah, you take those. I should have mentioned Caicedo, though. He was brilliant, man of the match.
He was.
But that's standard. I don't really feel like there's too much to talk about there. We know what he brings. But yeah, I think he summed it up pretty well, Mila. Meh.
I put it in our notes, and so I'm gonna bring it up because you actually ended up hitting it in point 3, which is it wasn't. I put in our notes so everyone knows Palmer in the middle, and what I meant by Palmer in the middle was more about the people around him. Palmer in the middle.
I thought I was getting rage baited, guys.
It was more of just a caption headline kind of grab, but I don't like the two wide winger approach with Palmer. I love the idea of like an Estevao or I don't understand the
switch it
Garnacho.
up with him,
We
yeah.
don't understand the Garnacho links here, but like Xavi Simmons, like having one of a like touchline winger where that makes sense to me, but when it's two of them, I feel like he gets sucked into having to do too much in certain channels. And so whether or not that's João Pedro going off to the left here in this formation, or if that's just starting Estevao, I think that that's the best way. And I think that's the final evolution of this Chelsea team. I don't know if you're seeing stuff differently. I looked at your charts, but in terms of the style of play, like having the two touchline wingers, it gets lost in translation.
They're
of-
isolated. They're definitely isolated.
Yeah,
I think.
I know.
Oh, do you have
No,
anything
no,
else?
you're good.
Okay. So yeah,
I'll probably later.
they're very isolated. So Neto and Gittins are the touchline wingers because even in Estevao, he'll interchange, he'll drive inside more. But those guys, the whole theory of the system, if you will, is to funnel them 1v1s. A guy like Gittins, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Just keep dribbling, attacking at him. Neto, same thing. Put in a cross, beat your man, either foot, whatever. Palmer, so again, in this sort of setup, Caicedo's a lone 6, Cucurella and Enzo are the 8s, but again, they're getting forward. And Palmer literally just he can go wherever. He can go to the left, interchange with Gittins. He could go to the right, interchange with Neto. So tactically, I'm not as worried about that. To your point, I'm more worried about the center backs being able to punch the lines and find that pass because Colwill and Tosin do that very well. A Chempong, he's a right back converted center back. So he's going to take time to play those very difficult passes because he played two of them directly to a Crystal Palace player. One of them led to the Eze free kick. The other one was a chance. So you got to be careful. It's a really tough role. So I think the onus is more on Palmer to find that. And I just don't think he had his best game. I don't look at it as much of a tactical issue as more of he wasn't at his best today. Let's see what he can do against West Ham.
I got questions about the wingers and more
Yes.
so about the fullbacks, I guess. I didn't get to watch the full game because, I mean, I did get to. I just fell asleep.
It's 6 a.m.
I'm assuming James wasn't overlapping Neto.
No. It was Chalobah, Chempong, James, back 3. Caicedo, lone 6. Enzo, Cucurella, 8s.
Okay. See, that's the issue, though. I mean, I think Cucurella needs to do what he was doing last year and making those runs inside to open up those 1v1s. Oh, then
he was getting really forward because they're 8s, right? But one or the other will get really forward.
Shouldn't be.
Cucurella looked like a striker at times in this game. He wasn't. Again, I think he just didn't have his best game. It was his debut, little nervy. He had good moments. I think a lot of again, Chelsea are a lot of doomer fans. We have a lot of those on the internet, but he had his highs, he had his lows. He's 20 years old. I'm not too worried about it.
No, like for me, when I was just watching it, it was like there was just a stark difference in the way that the progression happened when Estevao came into the match.
Oh, immediately.
And I just think that having the ability to move,
he can interchange with Palmer.
That just having one
Neto can't interchange with Palmer.
Neither can Gittins. Like inside, when they come inside, they just become pointless. And
it pulls apart the defense more. Yeah, because again, João Pedro, he was very quiet in this game. I thought Delap could have came on with Estevao, in my opinion. As good as João Pedro's been ever since putting on the shirt, he was not involved whatsoever. He didn't really drop too deep to even try to get involved in the play. Again, Palace were very good. They were very compact in their third. As soon as they had opportunities, they broke. They went for it. Mateta's hold-up play was very good. They played a great game. They could have definitely gotten a result on the day. I think we could have. Even in extra time, Santos puts that ball way over the bar. And then a minute later, puts a header across goal. The lap almost gets on the end of it. So I think there's a lot. There's not too much to take from it. But again, it's not the end of the world. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, it may have been the most fair result of the entire weekend. Like I felt like both teams had their chances. And then it was just that was kind of it. An agreement there. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how badly you guys beat them on West Ham or against West Ham.
Mr. Potter, one more, brother.
Yikes!
You owe us.
Well, we might have to talk about some of those teams towards the bottom because the newly promoted teams.
Sunderland. I fell asleep for the second half because I woke up at 4:30 for the 0-0.
Looked pretty good. Alrighty, let's switch it over. Mila.
Boom. Let's do this again. First thing, 5 things learned. Bernardo revived. Was getting unk shouts last year. I don't think he's an unk. He looked fresh. He looked active in the defense, active going forward. Dribbling wise, was pretty good, creative, just refreshed. He looked like he's back to his old self. Last season kind of looked like a dip. End of the season before that wasn't great, but now here we are. Second thing was Nico G. He's definitely got to be talked about because we don't have Rodri again, so he's gonna have to fill the big shoes. And he did really good in terms of a lot of what Bernardo did, but a little more physical and dominating in the way that he did it. Rough into tackles, just strong, powerful presence in the middle of the pitch. But not only that, when he did have to take touches into the final third of the midfield and just progress the ball forward with his feet, he did it in stride. And he did that really well a couple of times. So I think he's going to be really important. I guess he didn't go off, but I saw him grab his shoulder at the end, and it looked pretty bad, or he was just milking it at the end of the game. I don't know why, though. So I'm hoping he's not hurt for that, but he looked really good. The next one is that the line looks organized. The defense, I mean, we've played a high line for however many fucking years now, so I don't know why people are getting surprised that it's a high line now. It's just working. It's an organized line, and I think a lot of that is contributed to the Stones and Diaz partnership. We did great things at this club with them as a partnership, and Stones tends to get hurt. He looks super fit right now. Diaz looked a little unfocused in the past 2 years, but he looks locked in, and I think a lot of that just is them two playing together. I mean, obviously, Diaz can't do anything about his fitness, or Stone's fitness, but I think in terms of Diaz's mentality, he raises the level next to Stones. And I know he deserves a big shout just for his defensive abilities. Didn't really do much going forward, but had some great tackles and was just overall organized with the rest of the defense in terms of forcing the offsides. And yeah, Rico, I'm wearing his jersey right now. He was talked about leaving. He put on a great performance going forward and was more attacking fullback in this game, but also defensively. I think as a whole they were all locked in together and communicating. So that's where a lot of our success and lack of chances for them came. And along with that, my fourth thing would be Trafford. I think I put Trafford alert. One, because he's looking alert, and I think anyone that is going to stay for that position or come in for that position needs to be on alert that he's here. He looks super locked in. I don't think anything really troubled him outside of maybe one or two passes. But yeah, in terms of shot stopping, he looked great. He was quick to get to loose balls. He was quick to just stop any ongoing runs, and I'm looking forward to see him start more. But I understand that Donnarumma might make that hard. And lastly is that Reinders is special. I think I talked about it last 2 episodes, and I'm gonna triple down on it on this episode. Let the world know that this guy is one of a kind, a proper box to box that we haven't seen in a very long time, I think. And not only that, he plays the game with a extreme amount of joy. He's going to always have that smile on his face, even if he gets called for a foul or if something doesn't go his way, he's always smiling. And I think that's a big thing in a locker room and just in this game in general. Creative players especially. If you don't play with joy as a creative player, then you're not going to create anything, let's be honest, because you just have to dream a little bit. And I think he's got that in abundance. So he's going to do really good. And again, player of the season shout. Let's go.
Yeah, fuck me. Just like the average City starts the season off performance, like this is pretty run of the mill stuff at this
We're
point.
usually shit in the beginning.
I don't
Also,
know.
such a different group of players. And yeah, Reinders was unplayable. I
Insane.
thought he blew me away. I know you gave him Player of the Year shouts, and again, he's 27 years old. He was playing at AC Milan. Like it's not like he's just some random, but he was unplayable on the day. I mean, just that first goal where he lobbed it over the top, just the carrying, and then while also just being able to spot that pass and immediately playing it, just so instinctive. Yeah, he did everything. Yeah, I can't see a hole in his game. If he had to fill in and play the Rodri role for the game, no problem. I'm sure he could do it. Uh, he's going to be a problem. That was my big takeaway.
Dude, Holland is going to score. I think we may have undershot the amount of goals he's going to score.
I said 40
So many
minute.
goals.
That's why I put Player of the Year for him, because he's
in
going
the
to
list.
shatter it.
I genuinely think he's going to win the Ballon d'Or, dude. It's hard enough to stop a guy like that who just can score at will and like can do it himself. But fuck's sake, when you give him just tap-ins, it's
I mean,
I
one
don't
of
know.
them was a tap. The second
That
one was a
movement for the
very
first
good
goal was
finish.
really good
right,
too.
right.
And
The
I think a
movement
lot
was
of it,
top.
yeah, I think that movement needs to be talked about. That connection between him and Reinders is scary. They've played 3 games together, and they
Yeah.
look like they've been
Smart
playing together
players.
since they were kids. They're just playing free-flowing football right now. Obviously, it's one game, but I got really excited watching that game. Felt
Yeah.
like a kid
Do
again.
take into account
And
Madueke scored a hat trick at that ground last year.
who cares? That was last year.
Wolves are awful, but you guys took care of business. And
I think they
it
played a
looks
good
and-
game up
and
until a certain point.
I no, well, I'm gonna give you credit here because Mila is the first person to get a predicky correct this season. So you get mad credits for getting the first match of a City game
Ew.
spot on 4-0.
We called a
That's
4-0. Oh,
fucking
no.
impressive shit.
I'm upset that he got that. See, now that ruins it for me. But no, genuinely, in that game, me and Mila were talking about it right before we started recording. But up until the first goal, it was like City still look open, like they can be got at. And
Yeah.
if Wolves got
think
that
a
first
lot of
goal,
that-
it could be a different game. And it's a whole world of ifs. They won 4-0. They deserved
Mhm.
the 4-0. But I still think they're not a perfect team. And I think that's what's exciting me about this season. I don't think there's a far and away, oh, I don't know how you get at this team. You can get at any of these teams. It's not easy, but they can be got at. So that was another takeaway.
I think in
Two
terms of
takeaways.
Wolves, I think it was very much a facade in terms of their chances. I don't think they were like threatening whatsoever. All their chances to me
Dude,
were
5 was
offsides.
offside like 10
Exactly.
times.
So, but that to your point, against another team, that can be exploited possibly. We don't know.
Right,
Like
we
I don't
don't
know
know.
off one game if the defense is so organized now that we're just forcing so many offsides, or if this guy who's new to the Premier League making his debut in the league is just a little nervous and he's jumping the line a little bit.
No, that guy got there in January.
Oh, did he
yeah,
really? Oh,
yeah, because I remember seeing, I was like, who the hell's
shit.
number 5 in attack? But
I thought he was a new
he was
signing.
shocking.
Just based on draft.
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. But yeah, like there's so many things that I can look at. And
Their
say,
midfield was solid.
we're really good. The midfield was great. Oh, their
For
midfield?
Wolves? Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
Wolves' midfield was
I'm
solid.
dead.
I'm just
I'm not
thinking of a
taking anything
positive.
away
I'm
from
looking
them.
at their team.
They
There's
played City and they didn't
Yeah.
lose 8-0. I think it was fine. In the way that
I'm
we
just
were
trying to
playing, I
think of
think we
what was
could have
going through my
easily beat them
brain
that
during
much.
the game.
this whole side isn't great, so it's hard to really take a lot. I feel like our preseason feelings on City are right, like super dynamic. It's going to be a lot of goals. Like you guys are going to score a fuck ton of goals, but there's still areas of weakness, and transition is going to
Mhm.
be one of them. But that's always been City, and so it feels like
Right.
you've
It's the
upgraded.
high-line
You've
sacrifice.
upgraded points of like weakness where we talked about last year, where it was like Gundogan's just too old, KDB's just too old,
Mhm.
and then you go and replace him with the 27-year-old tailor-made fucking player for Pep. Like, no shit, it's gonna work. And then on top of that,
That
like
plays.
Foden didn't even make it. He was hurt, so Foden's not even talked about
Vardiol
here.
didn't play. Foden didn't
Vardiol
play.
Cherokee
Rodri
banger.
didn't play. So
And Cherokee gets this
arguably
good
3 of our best players did not even touch the pitch.
Yeah,
I
And
thought
on top of that, none of the unks outside of Bernardo.
yeah, I
touched
was
the
so
pitch.
expecting the Kovacic, Gundogan, Silva
Nico
midfield
O'Reilly
to
came
start the
on in
year.
the 66th minute. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like it's an indication of where we're going and the mentality that Pep has this season. And I know probably most people outside of us 3 and then anyone that I'll talk their ear off about this. And we'll even give a shit. But it's huge because it's pretty telling. Like, you're not really gonna play.
100%.
You have 2 weeks to get out of here. So either go get out or don't play, because we will be playing the Nico O'Reillys, the Oscar Bobs, all these guys.
Bob
Anyone,
was fantastic. I didn't
he
expect him
definitely
to
took some
be as
time to grow in the game, I think. But
I
there
didn't
was
expect
certain
him to look as
times
sharp
where,
and on it
first
as
game
he
in a
did.
year is crazy. First
Exactly.
professional,
I
like,
expected
yeah.
a few flashes of something, but for the most part, just getting his fitness back. I thought he looked very comfortable in the game. But to your point, grew into it. But I think he
Yeah.
looked very good.
I was
Yeah.
freaking out when he took on 4 guys and the
Yeah, that
box.
was
And he was just like, I'm gonna keep dribbling until I can make something happen, which is, it's ridiculous. The way he
Yeah.
moves with the ball is insane, and it's so casual. And
get
if
ready
this
for
is what
that
he's
Clear Lake
doing
bid.
after not playing for a year, then I think it's very scary for the rest of the league.
I realized that the Chelsea Palace thing was up the whole time. So
Nah, it's whatever.
whatever. Sorry, it could caught me off guard. But to your Bob point, this graphic couldn't be any more real. Like,
Sick graphic.
that's exactly what it looked like in my head.
Yeah, and back to what you were saying earlier, I forgot to mention it, but I think we're just scoring goals out of nothing now. Whereas last year we
Yeah.
were just kind of predictable in the way that we wanted to go get our goals, and it was very spam the cross down the side. Hopefully Savio or Doku. No, let's not say hopefully. They will beat their man 1-on-1 and they'll put in a cross, and hopefully Holland gets to it, or whoever's playing that striker role will get into the ball. This time it looks like we can kind of create out of nothing, and I think a lot of that comes down to Reinders again, just to bring it full circle.
Yeah. More imaginative, more creative
Mm-hmm.
from multiple different outlets. I feel like
It's-
for
it
City,
feels more free.
Everything's fresh.
The
Everything's
shackles
fresh.
are off, and I know people want to say that's Pep, but he's still the fucking coach.
I think
so-
Cherokee's the perfect microcosm of it. If you're trying to from afar kind of see how everything's going, see what Cherokee's up to, see what the vibes are around him, because to your point, the shackles are off, and I think we're starting to see it again. I would not have been surprised if Gundogan started. You know what I mean? Like seeing the same names, Akanji, Ake, back four, all center backs. What I do think
Would've
it's a new
crushed that.
time. Bob starting game week 1, O'Reilly being one of the first subs. I do think you're right on that.
Yeah. So let's segue. The biggest match of the weekend happens to be City versus Spurs. Spurs are coming off a 3-0 win over Burnley. I actually was semi-impressed with Burnley. I wasn't actually overly... I think the scoreline's
I
a
don't
little
think they
flattering.
looked terrible. I think,
Yeah.
I just
think
watched the
Tottenham
highlights.
just looked way better.
R-
But I don't
Look,
think
Ray
Burnley
Charleston
were like,
scored a
oh.
scissor kick. And look,
World Cup year.
Kudus had a very good game, but these aren't the games that I'm... let's start with Spurs just to break up the City stuff. Kudus looked really good in the first game, but these are the games that I've seen him be good in all the time. Like, if you look at his goals from last season...
Doesn't matter. I'm selling my stocks now. I make a profit.
Yeah, no, you probably would. Look, he's technically savvy. The idea, him, Brennan Johnson, and I think it will eventually be Solanke. I don't know when Solanke gets reintegrated here, but
Richarlison World Cup year, Dylan.
yeah. Look, he's gonna. I can't put stock in him being healthy.
I agree.
I still don't like. The thing is, I still don't know what to feel about Spurs yet, so I can't.
You think they set up in a back five against City? Because I think they looked. I think so too. But again, this is what I kind of thought would happen with Frank. Is they're very adjustable and adaptable. Gray in the midfield. Who would have thought he's good as a midfielder, not a center back or a right back. Bergvall again looked really good. They've got players there, but I don't know. I think Frank. I still stand on just he'll raise the floor. He'll see who can do what, but it's kind of going to be a figuring it out year. But Burnley at home is a nice way to start things.
Yeah, get off on the right foot. I don't know. I still have just so many questions. I don't know where Burnley was the one team we unanimously just like had going down. So
yeah,
hard
I
to
don't
take
even think
stock
that's
in
to
it.
their football though. It's
No.
more so that
The talent.
their talent that they have. But hey, all of those teams looked really good this weekend. I mean, not
Yeah.
really good for Burnley, but they looked
No, the
competitive.
the bottom half is going to be much more competitive. We're not going to see the 3 relegated sides where it's just like they've been out of it since fucking.
Kyle Walker having a pop shot 30 minutes in. Mila, how did that feel seeing that not with your badge? Was
I
that
sent
a
you
sense
guys
of
that.
relief?
Fucking
Yeah, it
hilarious.
was. I sent you guys that picture of Gundo and him. That Gundo looking at him pictures to me is the same as LeBron looking at JR.
That's so funny.
Um, yeah, it's nice that he's gone.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but much, and I didn't bring it up. But Bernardo's our captain, and he said a lot of damning stuff about some
Yeah.
players last year, and I would assume that's mostly about Kyle
They
Walker.
all kind of threw subs at Walker, I feel like, including
but
Pep.
I honestly think there's more to it than that, and some more players in that. I feel like maybe Kevin could have been one of those players, mentality wise, and he just didn't name a name. But there's not that many
Page was
people that are
turned.
gone. Grealish is gone, so those are the 3 names that I can think of that he could be talking about. Kyle Walker is the most likely to me.
Yeah. Him and Grillo are the most likely because Grillo was like, there was videos of him and pictures of him just fucking plastered outside of bars all season and like.
Yeah, I watched him play. Like, if I watched it 10 yards away from me, I watched him play, and the next day
You
he
watched
was
him
out of
almost puke on the
Newcastle,
pitch.
just fucking sloshed in Newcastle.
Yeah. To tie it back into the game
yes.
itself.
Where is it?
City.
Okay. Yeah, I think Spurs
Yeah.
go to the 3 back again. I think you have to combat the
sure.
idea of playing against Holland. So Danso,
And beat
Romero, and Van de
Ramsdale.
Ven. That's a pretty good way of trying to do it. With Porro and
Mhm.
Spence as your wing backs. I wonder what they'll do in the midfield. Do they go Bentancur and Sarr?
Yeah, I think we're just much more equipped to handle whatever they want to throw at us.
Yeah. No,
In
I don't
terms of
disagree.
like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to prepare for what we can roll out because we have a lot of options this year. I really don't think it's gonna be the same lineup that we just rolled out with.
Yeah. Look, Reinders is just he's a world destroyer. Like he is going to destroy that midfield. Like yeah, it was Gray and Bergvall and Sarr and it looked good. because
Paulinho
you're-
is getting in there and he's roughing things up. I think he's definitely in there.
That's that's a good
Break up
point.
If he
play.
can touch the ball, that's perfect. Or if he
He's
wants
in
to
there to
foul
break
and
up
get a
play.
yellow early, that's fine.
He's there to
Yeah,
kick
break them
shins.
shins.
But
I think we're gonna make it very hard for them to play that type of footy
How
against
did
us because the ball's not gonna be staying at someone's foot, and if it is, it's gonna be Reinders or Cherokee. I'm calling a Cherokee start for this game, and I think we're just gonna dominate them. But
this has
I
been your
think
guys'
you're going to have
potion,
to break
right?
down a low block. I think you're going to have to
It
break
is.
down a low block. I just think with Frank coming into that spot, he's just going to immediately go to what he knows, and that's being adjustable. And against a big team, okay, let's be smart here. Let's be conservative. So that's just what I think they try to do. But I don't know how organized they'll be this early in the season.
Yeah. I think the first
Danso
15 minutes.
masterclass?
No. I
think
don't
so.
see it. It's hard because and it's funny because Spurs won 3-0 and City won 4-0 against bad teams, and I just feel like City's levels ahead, right?
Well,
Even
one
on
finished 17th, the other finished
yeah,
third.
but like I don't know. It's tough. I think the first 15 minutes decides this match. Like I think that Spurs can make it really interesting if the first 15's
Yeah.
interesting, but I think
Yeah.
that there's a chance that City just like that and then it's over before it starts. Kind of vibe.
I liked how the commentator said we were on easy street right after the 4th goal, and I sent you guys the song, and that's
Yeah,
kind of how I'm feeling right now. I think we are on easy street. In my head, we're gonna steamroll Tottenham, just like we steamrolled fucking Wolves. I don't think a new team with a new manager at this club is gonna be able to prep enough for what we're about to unleash on them, because I think it's going to be super, super
The hammer.
dominating. Yeah, I mean, Pep brought on fucking Cherokee with 15 minutes left in the game to control possession.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Ryan Cherokee the most creative technical player on the pitch when he steps on, and he's bringing him on to control possession.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to be a different team this year. And in terms of what you were saying about the low block, I think the people we picked up make the low block super insignificant. I think we brought in the players to destroy that low block and make it a non-factor. So if anything's going to hinder us, it's going to be the wingers. And I think Marmouche is probably going to play another player that can just fucking rifle one from nothing. So if they want to play that low block, we'll just have Cherokee, Reinders.
Just ripping shots.
Exactly. All of those guys will be taking these long shots that we didn't have in the past couple of years because we had old guys that couldn't get the power behind their shots. No offense to them, but it's not the same anymore. Like, we have these young guys that can rifle it into the back of the net. We saw Cherokee do it. That's how his goal came in. He whipped one
Weak
out of
foot.
nothing. Yeah, weak foot. He has 2 feet, 2 strong feet. Like, I'm
Just
very
like you, my
confident and biased. Thank you. But I'm really, really positive on this team right now, and just the mentality. I'm a big mentality guy with all the teams that I follow, and I think you two know that better than anyone. And our vibes right now are fucking fantastic. And when I see us like this, we usually win most of what we're competing for.
And the
So,
score is?
I think 3-0.
3-0. Will he go back-to-back City predicties correct? Only time will tell.
Goal difference, bro.
We'll take it. Need
Grant, what do you think is gonna happen?
I think Mila made a ton of really good points, so I'll probably have to go 1-1. Just because of how quickly he countered my counter. Just
Yeah, no,
immediately
fuck
dusted it
you.
off, saying, "Oh, I'm not worried about low blocks. I really hope the low block gives him problems."
Grant, that was a smart leg kick that you just threw back at Mila there.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You just keeping him away. Just keep some distance.
Yeah, 1-1.
1-1.
Kudus is scoring.
Yeah, the
That would be the
Kudus
end
goal.
of me.
Winner. No.
If Kudus
fucking over. It's
scores to
1-1.
make it 1-1
Yeah,
at the
that's what I
90th
meant.
minute off
Equalizer.
the post, that would be the
Yeah,
death
yeah.
of me.
Just rock it, dude. Please. And we'll go 1-1
That's really
because
funny.
it's funny.
That is funny. I have to give Spurs some credit because they just are your bogey team,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be 3-1. I'm going 3-1. Last time I said my prediction first, which was 4-1, and then you said 4-0. So this time we're doing it in reverse order. Hopefully that helps
I see what you
my
did there.
predicting counter.
All right.
Yeah, I just think that City's press is going to make their midfield really struggle, and they're just not
they're
going to have
playing
as
it
many
over the top,
chances.
baby.
But I think maybe this is the game that Kudus breaks his thing against me, and he gets a counter goal, because that would be the only way that they score, in my opinion.
He just dribbles
Probably
8
brings
guys.
us
Solanke
that.
fit? Like, will Solanke potentially
Yeah,
start?
he
It's
played
hard.
like
It's
10 on the
hard to
bench.
see
I don't know.
Carlson.
They're not
Scored
benching
2.
Richard Arlison after that.
They should.
performance.
They
They should
not
bench
after that
Richard.
game.
They can't.
They won't.
It's Felipe's favorite player.
I do love
We
Richard.
didn't
He's
talk
hilarious.
about this stat at all, though, but the running stats, the ground covered.
On Fault Mob?
No, I mean on SofaScore. But did you see the disparity?
I'm more of an
between
average
City and the
positions
other
map
teams?
guy.
No. Did you guys outrun everybody in the
A
league?
lot, by a lot, yeah.
Is that
I
just
think it's-
because of the way that you
it's
guys are
'cause
now
Pep
playing?
Lenders is here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be interesting to watch and
I think,
monitor as the season
I mean,
progresses.
your press point, made me think about it. I think that's going to be huge, especially in this game. When it does come to that midfield, I think that running is where we can outrun them now.
Yeah, I don't I look at this. I just look at that Spurs team that went up against PSG, and I know that they drew against them, and I just don't look at it and filled with much
That
confidence.
PSG team was not.
But
good
that's how I felt
They were
about
terrible.
Brentford with Thomas Frank. Every time I'd look at the lineup,
That's
like,
fair.
oh, okay, I know Brentford's a tough play, but like I'm looking at this 11, calm, and they'd fucking give us problems every
That's very
time. So I
fair.
feel
Yeah.
like at minimum Spurs will give you a hard time, like a thorn in the side,
Mhm.
pebble in your shoe. Like, oh, look
I
at that.
think
They
you
keep
can say
exploiting
that.
this one thing. So they'll give you
And
problems,
there's
but
yeah,
doesn't mean you can't win 3-0 while they give you these small problems.
of course.
So
And I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be more so a factor when Thomas Frank is established at Tottenham, and then that will
still getting
be
his feet wet.
yeah, exactly. That's more so it for me is that he's still adjusting to
He'll
being
play
the
it
coach
safe,
there. Exactly.
if you will. But he
Yeah,
gave you guys problems at Brentford.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
This is a new beast, Tottenham Hotspur.
It could be adding too much fire to the oil type of thing because the Boogie
Yeah,
and
sure.
Thomas Frank already having some success might mean that it happens to be an 8-0. You never know.
Yeah.
I'll take an 8-0.
Look, I've got a vendetta up against both teams, so I really don't care what happens. I just want my predicky to be correct.
That's all it's about.
So that
I predicted
next week-
Sunderland 3-0 though. Do you guys not remember that? Right when the outro started recording, I said, "Oh, by
Did
the
you-
way,
did you?
I have another prediction: Sunderland 3-0 all in the second half, and I'm gonna fall asleep when that happens." So
Well, I'll give you a little asterisk next to the predicky count.
there we go. Cool.
So that you can
Appreciate
have
that.
that. Cool. Well, under an hour. That's pretty impressive.
Look at us.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about with 4 minutes? Or are we good to wrap it up?
No, please end it.
Okay. That's what I've been saying all day. So that's good.
Great banter.
Alrighty. Well, we're Clash of Clubs. We hit Matchweek 1. So excited that the Prem is back. So
Whew.
from myself,
Even more excited, we learned clock management.
yeah, dude. I don't know what
What
happened.
else?
We did we become a little more professional?
Game
I think we did.
management.
We just
This
didn't. Chelsea didn't
improved.
score a goal. It would have been an hour 30.
Yeah, and the five things would have turned into 15 things.
Esteval's winning the Ballon d'Or, guys.
25 things learned.
Well,
Stop the count.
excited to be back. Season 2, episode 2, which is episode 58 as a whole. So getting closer to 60, which is cool. But from myself, Millars and Garnt, we have been Clash of Clubs. This has been episode 58, and we will see you guys in the next one.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.